Hello, class. Today I'll be talking about phrases from the topic phrases and sentences grammar. Now, before I explain or talk about phrases, I would like you to have a look at something which you've been doing since your school days, and that is parts of speech. All right, nouns. Nouns are words which refer to people, objects, for example, bag, abstract concepts, love, hate, phenomena, flood, earthquake, etc. Pronouns. What are pronouns? These are words. Let me use mouse here. Now, these are words used in place of nouns like he, she, they, we, I, it, etc. Now, what are verbs? Verbs are words which show actions or state. For example, walk, read, these are action verbs. Is, am, was, were, alone, when they don't come with an action verb, they show state, right? Or they're also called be form of verbs. Then adjectives are words which describe nouns or give more information about nouns. Prepositions are words like in, on, at, under. They show position, time, and movement. For example, on the table, dive into the swimming pool or pool. So this shows position at 3 o'clock or at 3 a.m. It shows time. Now let me clear all of this and talk about determiners and conjunctions. Determiners are words like a, and, the, that, this, or possessive pronouns and all that, right? They all are determiners. But here I would like to introduce articles, right, as a part of determiners, because determiners are, you know, are words which belong to, you know, a broad category. So determiner is basically a broad category. It includes articles, it includes demonstrative pronouns, it includes, you know, some quantifiers and all that, right? Then comes conjunctions, the words like and, but, or, so, unless, right? All coordinators and subordinators, right? They actually are called conjunctions. Now, you're aware of parts of his speech, important parts of his speech here. Parts of his speech have been used, or yeah, people, have been used traditionally to explain English grammar, right? But the modern grammar is pretty much interested in knowing how these words are combined to produce meaningful sentences. And the first thing which you really need to understand is that they are combined initially as phrases, and then when they are put together, right, we are able to have a sentence. So we are able to write sentences. Now, how this happens, let's talk about that. To understand how these words are combined, we need to understand the concept of a phrase. Look at these words: our boy, a boy, a big boy, boy big, a ball. Now, if I write over here, or boy, you probably would say this makes sense, these two words, because they can come together. But if I change the order, I say boy or, you might think that something is wrong with this order, right? Because you have never heard of this, right? Because perhaps in English language, we don't write like this, of course. Now, these two words, when they're combined together, they actually form a phrase, and that is called a noun phrase. Now, this could be the first, uh, part. For example, if I write over here, or boy, I know that I can put these two words together. Fine. Let's suppose, can I do, or if I put this or why a ball, I write this way, would you understand anything? Probably you wouldn't understand anything because something important is missing over here. So you can say that, okay, our ball is fine because it's again, it's a noun phrase. This is a noun phrase. This is a noun phrase. A can come before ball or can come before boy. But then when we combine these two chunks, these two noun phrases, right, you may not be satisfied because something is missing over here. Now, if I add a word over here and I just write over here, okay, I write over here has. Now, from our knowledge of parts of a speech, we know that has is a verb. Now, if I say, our boy has a ball, so this is a verb phrase. So we learn that when we combine these phrases in appropriate order, we actually can have a meaningful sentence. So what are phrases? They are group of words. So for example, here we have a noun phrase. Here we have a verb phrase. Although it doesn't have this is not a group of word. It is still a noun phrase. Oh, sorry, a verb phrase. Now let's go ahead and see how these phrases, okay, can be combined. Okay, here we go. Here are some more examples on the table. So we know this is a preposition, so this may be called a prepositional phrase because here we can see that the first word is a preposition. Fine. Black and white cat. We know black and white, right? Okay, this are describing cat. So they are probably adjectives, and we know that this is a noun. So the main element over here is a noun, right? Okay, fine. So we can say that this is a noun phrase. Walk slowly, here we have a verb and we have an adverb, so we can say that this is a verb phrase. Play happily, same is the case here, and I don't want to talk about at the center with the bat because I've already talked about on the table, which is a prepositional phrase. Okay, so far we know that phrase is a group of words, right? Okay, it is a group of words, but at the same time, even at one word can also be a phrase. That's what we have learned, when I wrote over there, or boy, right, has a ball. Now, I know that this is a noun phrase. Okay, fine. This is a noun phrase. Fine. This is a verb phrase. Although it's just a word, right? Okay. Now the question arises, why am I calling this a noun phrase? Because pronouns like or, my, their, All these pronouns, they come before nouns. So, or boy, my boy, their boy, right? Okay, fine. Same goes this category. Why is this a noun phrase? Let me clear all of this first. Black and white are adjectives. Now we know adjectives usually come before nouns. Okay, so I can say uh, white, a white cat. So we know articles, they come before nouns, adjectives, they come before nouns. So everything is built around noun, right? A noun. So this whole thing is a noun phrase basically, right? Okay. Play happily. We know that adverbs, they modify verbs. So they come after verbs mostly. At the center. Prepositions, they come before nouns with a bat, right? Articles, they come before nouns. So noun phrase we can identify. Why? Because the grouping, right? The grouping occurs before noun or around nouns. So we cannot say center at the. We cannot say cat white because they got to come before nouns, right? Okay, and only then they can be called noun phrases. Is that clear? Okay. Now, why is it important to learn? This is another important thing. Basically, to understand grammar, or especially grammar related to sentences, we need to understand the concept of immediate constituent analysis. As I told you, I cannot say boy, oh. I know that they don't come together in this order. So a boy is fine. I cannot say cat, white. It has to come before cat. So white cat is fine. I cannot write this way. Has boy or has a ball boy. It won't make any sense. I have to say has a ball the boy or whatsoever. I can say the boy has a ball. So if I change the order, so I should know that this noun phrase comes first, and then there should be a verb phrase, and then there should be another noun phrase or a preposition phrase or whatsoever, right? So there is a fixed order. So these are immediate constituents basically, right? This right follows this, and this follows this. Is that clear? So that means before verb phrase, we got to have a noun phrase, and after verb phrase, we got to have noun phrase or prepositional phrase whatsoever, right? But we cannot change the order. We cannot write a verb phrase first, and then the noun phrase, and then another noun phrase, and then another noun phrase. Probably this is not possible, right? So we really need to understand the structure of English sentence, the structure of English phrases. So phrases, right, are basically written, right, uh, using an appropriate word order. For example, we cannot say boy, right? We cannot say uh, girl, tall. This is not a phrase. But yes, a tall girl, grammatically, We can say it's a phrase and it is a noun phrase because we know before nouns we can have articles, we can have adjectives. So we got to have an article plus an adjective plus a noun. We need to have a certain order, right? If we want to write noun phrases or any sort of phrase, right? If we want to write phrases, basically, right? And in the same manner, we have to combine phrases in a certain order. That means I cannot have verb phrase before a noun phrase, probably, or I cannot have two noun phrases and then a verb phrase, right? So I got to understand that what are immediate constituent, which word should come with in what order, right? Okay, and which word can come with you know uh, which word, basically, right? Okay, which two words basically to come together, right? I hope you have understood all of this, because this is very important. This whole thing is very important to learn if you want to you know get command over syntax, which is our next topic. If you want to get command over syntax, which is our next topic, right? I hope you understood. If you have any issue, we can talk about it during our live sessions and all that. Thank you. Take care of yourself.